Hey guys, welcome back to the Daily Lessons. This is going to be episode number 9, and today is going to be a controversial topic, which I think is going to rub some people in the wrong way. But today we're going to be talking about AI. Now, just quickly before everybody starts telling me that I don't know what I'm talking about, and maybe I don't, right? I would love for anybody to prove me wrong on this. I am by profession a software engineer, okay? Somewhat similar to it. And I also graduated from college with a tech degree as well. So I know a little bit about the tech landscape and the industry, and this is kind of just my personal opinion on what exactly is going to happen with AI and just our daily lives in the future. So let's get into it, right? Now, I quickly want to acknowledge that the advances in AI and just everything in general within technology, I do think that we're living in a really good time. Like, I don't think that AI is going to change our lives. There's hasn't been an invention that is going to change our lives as much as AI since the internet got invented, essentially. When the internet got invented, obviously everybody was speculating that it's going to change our lives forever, and it has really still till this day, right? Like, we're able to communicate with our coworkers, just friends, families from all around the world in a matter of literally seconds. Before that, we had to literally wait to write like letters to people, and then go to the post office and actually have them mailed. But you can do that literally from this device that you have in your pocket, basically 24/7, and you can get an answer from them 24/7 as well. If you were to tell anybody that you're going to be able to see people in video, live video, on a cell phone, on like one of those Nokia brick phones, people would have called you crazy. But it's pretty fascinating that we just take it for granted on a daily basis now. But essentially, that is a reality because we can literally just FaceTime with anybody at any given time, right? So I also want to point out that I use AI on a daily basis. I use artificial intelligence mostly. I use ChatGPT for work. I just ask it like some random questions, ask it to look over some code here and there especially if I'm like working on like a personal project. And I actually also use AI in my video editing process, or just like, just editing this podcast itself. So I do think that it will enhance everybody's lives. And I already think that it has, if you know the tools that are out there, actually. But I want to talk about this, okay? So just like the internet, people were speculating that it's going to save us so much time that we're literally not going to have to do anything ever again, right? I grew up and I had dial-up internet, and that was kind of like the sentiment that we had, right? And then Wi-Fi came around, and then we got faster internet, and now internet is just readily available pretty much everywhere. In a first world country, of course. Obviously in some third world countries, there are instances where you are just not going to have any internet available to you, right? So essentially, though, it was supposed to be such a game changer for everybody, and it has been even till this day, and it has provided so many more opportunities for us. For example, like, anybody in the world can get like a Harvard education, right? Because you can literally go to their website. You could go to Harvard's website and you can sign up for one of their free classes, right? And you could get certified in that class, and that's amazing. I think that's great. It has made so many resources and education available to everybody. The internet has, right? But what it has not done is save us time, right? Now, here's the thing, right? Here's my perspective on it, and this kind of boils down to like a psychological thing as well, is that since the internet is now so integrated, so deeply into our daily lives, it's not really saving us any time because it's just so normalized, right? So even with the internet, even if you grew up in a time where you don't know anything about when internet just didn't exist, or let's say, for example, if you're 40 years old and you remember a time where the internet didn't exist, do you feel any less busy today than you did before the advent of the internet? My guess is that your answer is going to be no. You don't feel any less busy. Matter of fact, I would argue that your time is probably more valuable to you because you get less of it. And I think that's true across the board for pretty much anybody. I think it's true for me as well. Even with the internet, I don't feel any less busy. I feel more busy now than I did when I was a kid, but that's something different, right? That's just because I grew up, I have more responsibilities now. But if you were to take a man or a woman before the internet and now with the internet, and if you were to compare their lives to each other, I would argue that they have more things and more trouble to worry about now, and they have less time now than they did back in the day. Now, I think the same thing is going to happen to AI. I think AI is obviously going to automate some jobs, right? I think it's going to automate a lot of tasks that we do on a daily basis as well. And I think I think like a lot of my job tasks are definitely going to be automated, like coders and whatnot. I think AI is just so much more efficient at coding than any human being is ever going to be, as long as you can prompt it properly. But after it becomes an integral part of our lives, after we become so used to having AI on a daily basis and having like this artificial intelligence helper essentially for us, or our butler, I guess, we're going to find new problems and new issues to tackle. It's not that we're going to get all of our time back. So if you're working 40 hours a week, it's not like you're going to get 35 hours back of your life. No, you're literally just going to find things to fill in that time with something else. You're going to have more problems at your job. They're just going to be more advanced, right? Now, instead of dealing with a code base being broken, it's going to be like, hey, I need to manage like artificial intelligence software to be more secure. The problems are just going to get more advanced. And because of that, I don't think that in the long run, AI is going to save us any time, unfortunately. And I think the internet and the invention of the internet is great proof for that. Nobody feels any less busy. Everybody just feels busier today than they did, like 10, 20 years ago. Why is that? It's because we literally find things to fill our time with, okay? So just like the internet was supposed to save us time and, basically put us out of our miseries, and, nobody's going to want to have to work anymore. And that's the same argument that is being made for artificial intelligence. I think it's way too out there, right? I think what's going to happen is somewhere in the middle, right? You have two parties, essentially, for AI. One party says it's all doom and gloom. AI is going to take over the world, and we're going to be living in a dystopian society, essentially, basically like Blade Runner. And the other party is like, oh my God, it's going to be so great that we're not even going to have to work anymore. All we need to focus on then is just advance humanity and focus on luxuries and, just focus on our desires. I don't think either of those are going to happen. I think it's going to be somewhere in the middle. I think some things are going to get better, and I think some things are just going to get worse. And that's true across the board with technology. Any technology you can look at and pick up, it's going to have that same principle attached to it. It's never going to be total doom and gloom, and it's never going to be complete happiness either. Think about any technology, and you'll find that principle to be true. Anyways, in the long run, I just don't think that artificial intelligence is going to save us that much time. It might automate some of our tasks, but we're just going to find new tasks to do, which is a good thing. That means that we're advancing as a species, I guess. Pretty slowly, but we're still advancing. That was kind of my rant as a software engineer and as a tech professional. I hope you guys liked this episode. Let me know if you guys want more thoughts about what I think about in the tech industry, especially with the layoffs that have been happening. And remember to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed this, and tell a friend. I would love for that. And that's really the only thing that I'm ever going to ask you for. Fingers crossed. This was the Daily Lessons, episode number 9. Thank you guys so much for watching and listening to me. And I hope you have a great day. This is Yusha signing out. Bye.